Long ago in ancient Israel, there lived a woman named Hannah who was known for her kindness and gentleness. Yet beneath her gentle spirit lay a heart weighed down by sorrow. Hannah was married to Elkanah, a man of noble character who loved her dearly. Despite his love, Hannah had one painful desire that she could not fulfill, a child of her own. Elkanah had 2 wives, as was customary in their time. His second wife, Peninnah, had many children and took every opportunity to remind Hannah of her barrenness. Each time Peninnah's laughter filled the house with the voices of her children, Hannah felt her heart grow heavier. Every year, Elkanah took his family on a journey to the sacred temple at Shiloh to offer sacrifices to God. The temple, with its beautiful tapestries and incense, was a place of hope and reverence. But for Hannah, the journey also meant enduring Peninnah's taunts, which grew sharper each year. One evening, as the family sat down for a meal at Shiloh, Peninnah mocked Hannah once more. "Look at all my children, Elkanah," she sneered. "But Hannah, she has no one to hold or call her own." Hannah, heartbroken and tired of the pain, quietly left the feast and walked toward the temple, her steps heavy but determined. She reached the temple, knelt before the grand doors, and poured out her soul in a prayer to God. She wept silently, her lips moving in earnest, though no sound escaped them. "O Lord of heaven," she prayed, "if you will only look upon me and remember me, and grant me a son, I promise I will give him back to you all the days of his life." As she prayed, Eli, the high priest, watched her from a distance. Seeing her lips move without sound, he misunderstood and thought she was drunk. He approached her, a look of stern disapproval on his face. "How long will you stay drunk? Put away your wine," he said. Hannah, startled and hurt by his accusation, looked up and replied, "No, my lord, I am not drunk. I am a woman deeply troubled. I was pouring out my soul to the Lord. Do not take me for a wicked woman. I have been praying here out of my great anguish and grief." Eli's face softened as he understood the depth of her pain. He placed a hand on her shoulder and blessed her, saying, "Go in peace, and may the God of Israel grant you what you have asked of him." Hannah's heart was comforted by his words, and for the first time in many years, she returned to her family with a sense of hope. That night, she rested peacefully, her spirit uplifted, holding on to Eli's blessing. In the months that followed, Hannah's prayer was answered. She conceived a son whom she named Samuel, meaning, "God has heard." Her heart overflowed with joy, for her sorrow had turned into the laughter of a mother's love. As Samuel grew, Hannah remembered the promise she had made. Although it pained her to part from her only child, she knew she had to fulfill her vow to God. When Samuel was old enough, she took him to the temple at Shiloh, where she met Eli once again. "Remember me, my lord?" she asked. "I am the woman who stood here beside you, praying to the Lord. I prayed for this child, and the Lord has granted me what I asked. Now I give him to the Lord. For his whole life he will be given to the service of God." With tears in her eyes, Hannah placed Samuel in Eli's care, entrusting her beloved son to a higher purpose. Though she would miss him dearly, she knew Samuel was destined for greatness, chosen by God to be a leader and a light for Israel. Each year she visited him, bringing him a small robe she had woven with love and care. And as he grew, so did his wisdom and dedication to God. Samuel would go on to become a prophet, a voice of God in Israel, and the one who would anoint kings. Hannah's faith and sacrifice became a testament to the power of prayer, patience, and keeping one's promises. Her story lived on in the hearts of her people, inspiring others to believe in the strength of love, faith, and resilience.